Hi, it's Susan from Make Lively Knitting Machine Repair Shop. This is part 2 of the Toyota KS787 Knitting Machine demo of a machine I tested. Today we're going to try the tuck stitch knitting, in 2-color, and lace. So first is going to be the tuck stitch knitting. It says to use, so it's on page 17 of the manual, it says to use 14A punch card. On the punch cards, there's an A and a B side. It goes in, it just how you orient it when you go in the machine. This is B, and this is A. So if it says A, you put it in that way. On the punch card on this machine, it's not going to click more than 2 without putting the clutch. It's right here. See the little clutch? Hold in the clutch and then turn in the direction of the arrow on this knob. Attach your clips. So in this case, it's important to attach your clips so that you can see all the numbers on the right hand side. So that will inform you of how to orient the clips. They go in from the back, and then you push in the clutch and you turn it in the direction of the arrow until it gets to the line. On these punch cards, it's important to see the squares as you look up the right. Take note that some of the numbers have a little square around them. That's part of the instructions. I've already cast on and done a few little rows of stockinette. I need to do one more because it says to start on the left hand. So on the left hand side, step 1, do pattern card reader. Pattern card reader. And go across and it will select only. I'll show you when I come back to the other side so I don't have to bump the camera around, but you're going to move the what do they call them? Both partial knitting levers to 2. And I'll show you the partial knitting levers when we get to the other side. That's the only thing that changes. Partial knitting to 2 on the front of the carriage and go back across. So partial knitting is these. So 0 is just plain knitting and partial knitting is 2. Continue knitting until square on the punch card comes around. So watch the square on the right hand side. There's a little arrow pointing to it. So there's already a square. And the instructions say, change one of the partial knitting levers to the 0 mark according to the direction of the moving carriage. If the carriage is moving to the right, switch the right lever. Well, the carriage is going to move to the left, so I switch the left lever and I come across. See how the left lever is at 0? Then I put it back to 2. Then continue repeating that where you're knitting 3 rows at position 2 and 1 row at position 0, depending on the direction of the carriage. This punch card's kind of nice. I already tried it. So it will always be on the same side now. So continue. 2, 3, 0, 1, back to 2, 1, change to 0 because there's a square here, cross, put them back on 2, 3, 0, across, 2. I was watching too many things. I hope I did that right. Okay. 1, There's a square, 0, cross, 2, let me see, me do 0, then 2. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to do a couple plain rows. And I'll show you this at the end. I think I made one mistake, but I actually can't see it. So maybe I got away with it. I forgot to flip the 0 back to 2 for one row. Next, tuck stitch knitting in 2 colors. Page 18 of the manual says to do card 13A. So again, look on the right hand side, find 13A. Maybe you can see the squares. If this was my machine, I would probably use some Sharpie or something on those squares to make it more obvious to me. This is not my machine. I'm servicing this for somebody. And we couldn't find a good video out there of how to use it. And the manual took me a while to understand. So, did a video. It says to follow steps 1 through 5 on the previous page, which is start on the left-hand side, push in pattern, card reader, go across once, sometimes you start over. Well, I can show you this. Okay, take 2. Punch card number 13A, start at line 1. Tuck stitch, knitting in 2 colors, take 1,000,000. I think I understand it better now. Okay, I think we're back. I went through a few batteries. Okay, including my own. So, we did 2 rows of tuck in the white, and now we're doing 2 rows of plain in the black, which means you set these levers, partial knits, to 0, because we don't want to tuck. And we go across. Try not to get tangled. Oh no. Oh Lord. Okay. Move them to 2. Do a tuck. Move them to 4. 4 says change color. I started to say every time you take this color out, there's a chance of you getting caught on the little wheels. So you have to really watch your tension, which is very hard to do when it keeps getting caught on the camera. Now these are going to be plain, so we go 0, 0. I don't know if you can see that or if I'm standing in the way. Immediately acts like it's caught on a wheel. What on earth? Let's do that there. 1, 2. Switch colors. Tuck. 1, 2. Switch colors. Plain. 1, 2. Switch colors. Tuck. 1, 2. Switch colors. Plain. 1, 2. Unhook it from the gate pegs. Tool. It's a tool. Hooks. That was black, so now we want to do white. And white is going to be tucked. Please don't fall off. Untwist. That was white, so we have black. Is plain. It looks right. I've got almost 3 rows. This is still on the gate peg. That was black, so switch to white. Tuck. Swish. Plain. I'm going to call that good for this because frankly it's taken me a million tries. So I'm just going to switch to plain everywhere. a bunch of rows. And then I'm going to show you. I have no idea if my head's getting in the way. Okay. To color tuck on the Toyota 787. Okay, next step is the lace carriage. These are your rails. There's an L and an R. They are interesting to put in. There's a smaller, thinner side and a fatter side. The fatter side goes to the front, goes on top of the sponge bar. The thinner side goes under. This little metal thing's showing. And somebody knows a better way, please let me know. Okay. That's in. We are doing lace. That's why you need the extra rails. Move it. It should not lift up. Move back and forth. I'm also going to show you motif because we're only going to do the lace in the center. So we have our card at 1 and over here on the auto motif, I'm going to choose 3. So I had to put in the clutch. No, I didn't, but I did. 3 in the motif. 3 is the middle, 12 to 12. So we're not going to get lace across the whole thing. We'll just get a little bit of lace in the middle. But that's okay because we don't want lace on the edge. We can't handle that today. I've got everything cast on. I'm in plain knitting on the main carriage. And this says to get over to the left-hand side. Okay. Set levers, pattern 1, plain the other way, read the card. We're on 1. And you have to watch the card. This time on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side of your card, there's an arrow. When there's an arrow, that's when you're supposed to run the lace carriage across. Lace in the middle for the motif, that's what we want. Now, we're going to go across with the lace. And then you get a free pass to come back. There is a volume 2 of the lace book. This first manual, this book, is a little confusing on the lace. So you want to get volume 2. I'll try to put a link down in the bottom. When these arrows are pointing to the right, so your lace carriage is going to go lace and then free pass, then you want your main carriage to be set up with pattern plain. Okay? This is all very confusing in the book, but so it goes across, it picks the pattern. You're going to in the way the whole time. Okay, we're coming up on an arrow change direction. So we're going to knit So see this mark over here? It's a little hexagon. That means that you're going to be switching the lace carriage to the other side. So you take it off, you push in the button, you move it over to the other side, and you have to change a thing on the main carriage as well. You're going to change the main carriage to be plain and then pattern. Cross your fingers. Now we have an arrow, so now make sure your carriage is on there. Your lace carriage, can you see it? Make sure it's on there correctly. Watch your tension coming back. 1, 2. So it's picking up the pattern going back that way. And the lace facing from this side. Toyota KS787 lace. Here's the final sample. Look for the link to volume 2 of the manual in the section below. And there is a part 1 to the Toyota KS787, which shows stockinette, tuck, slip, and ferrule. So I hope this helps you, and good luck.